no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you have the potential to make a difference. Whether you're a student, a parent, a professional, a dreamer, or a leader, what matters most is taking the next step. Because when we take action to protect nature, we all win. Let's take the next step together. Let's plan it together.
Woo! Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Earth Day celebration. Hi, I'm Victoria Wu.
And I'm Courtney Baxter.
Oh my God. Courtney's a hometown girl. She's very popular here. We are so excited to be joining you live from Arizona Wilderness Brewing in Phoenix, Arizona. We're here today to celebrate and support nature.
Plus, we have thousands of people joining us online from all over the globe.
Yeah, hi guys. So if you're joining us live online, please use that chat function to tell us where you are and how you celebrate nature.
So this year for Earth Day, the Nature Conservancy has assembled some remarkable guests to show us the diversity of action nature needs for us all to survive and thrive.
Oh my God.
So if you're here because you want to help, you're in the right place.
Yes.
We'll be sharing a lot of amazing ideas and initiatives from all around the world.
That is right. So in the next hour, we'll show you how no matter where you are, there's always an opportunity to support nature because nature needs allies.
So we have 3 themes for the day.
Okay, let's count them off.
The first one, food and water, because they're critical for our survival, obviously.
Yes, very critical.
The second, air and climate, also critical.
Also critical, yes.
And then the third is well-being, because Mother Nature's well-being is our well-being.
Truly, yeah.
The list of actions needed is as diverse as nature herself, and we are excited to share some remarkable actions people are taking in communities around the world.
Yeah.
Right now, we are excited to present Jennifer Morris and James Page to kick off our celebration.
All right.
Hello and welcome. We are so excited that this special day is finally here.
Yes.
And to see this amazing turnout for Earth Day 2022, both in person and online.
But the Earth still needs allies, supporters, and it needs us. And that's why it's so important and great that you are joining us here today.
You know why? Because Earth Day 2022 is just the beginning. The actions needed from this point forward are as diverse as nature herself. So no matter where you are or what you might think you have time for, there's always a way for you to make a real difference.
And those come in a lot of different ways. We're talking from restoring the critical coral reefs and restoring rainforests to even changing the way that we grow food and even how we brew beer. The people you'll meet today and the stories that they're going to share are just a fraction of the amazing efforts that are already underway across the entire globe. But now is the time to take action for the land, to take action for water, for air, for climate, and for our own well-being. And today we are excited to share both the traditional wisdom as well as the innovative thinking from diverse communities and cultures and perspectives around the planet.
And there are so many ways you can join in to help make any day, or really every day, Earth Day. In fact, what if each of us made a change for nature? Just one simple thing that's part of a daily routine today. And what if we could each make a habit of doing something for nature a few times a week? And maybe once you see how easy it can be, you do a bit more. And then what if you tell your friends? And it's an idea that spreads through your community.
And that's the idea behind Plan It Together. The combined impact of individual changes and actions with the intention and a plan to support nature.
So, James, what we are aiming to accomplish together is simply to restore nature's ability to regulate herself. Because nature in balance is a climate solution. For example, properly managing forests, grasslands, wetlands, and soil can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, sequester excess carbon from our atmosphere, and improve the resilience of critical ecosystems for generations to come. The best part is that lasting change starts with a simple action, because everyday actions are an important step toward a bigger goal for yourself and for your community and for all of us to have a sustainable future.
Diversity in nature needs diverse support, and it needs it urgently. And it needs it everywhere. Nature is so much in need of our help in so many different ways, and there's incredible things that we can do. A growing list of opportunities that folks can take to move action forward. And as we explore these ideas and relationships from nature, from every culture and from every people around the planet, we expand the perspectives and discover more opportunities to connect and to support nature.
So if you're not sure how to get started, or you're looking to do more, we have a lot of amazing people sharing their unique stories today.
Our health relies on nature's health. And it's going to take all of us working together to create this healthy planet that we all want and we need to thrive.
So we've got a lot to cover today, James. We have less than an hour to do it, and I'm super excited to hear everyone's stories and to see all of the unique ways people are making a difference every day. So let's dive right in.
And Jen, I am so excited to this, and to everyone out there,
Happy Earth Day!
Earth Day, honey, it's just not another day on the calendar.
It's a cause, a community, a calling for us all to come together to create the world we all want.
The world is ever-changing and often chaotic, but we can do better than simply hoping for the best.
It is our mission to inspire, educate, mobilize, motivate, and coordinate.
It's our mantra to observe Earth Day every day.
And we're calling those of you who share our passion,
our commitment, and our responsibility to perpetuate progress.
This Earth Day, let's not just celebrate together.
Let's plan it together.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jen and James, for kicking us off, and a shout out to Nature's Allies for reminding us all why we're here.
Yeah.
First up, that important topic for all of us, food and water.
I know it's an important topic to me. How we grow food, the crops we select, and the ways that we nurture the soil, they're all vital to keeping future generations healthy.
And clean water for families, for wildlife, for healthy crops, critical to all life, is now a dwindling commodity.
It is, but we do see hope for the future thanks to hardworking, amazing organizations all around the world, just like South Africa's Cape Town Water Fund. Let's take a look at what they're up to.
We're gonna anchor our ropes here by these trees, and then we're gonna abseil down. So we're looking for the invasive species. So we get up in the morning, we get breakfast. After breakfast, we get all our gear together and gear up and head out to site. When we get to the site, we anchor our ropes, and then we start ascending down the cliffs. The most important thing, like in that whole process, is safety first, because we walk really high up. And as we ascend from really high.
It's weather we must deal with every day. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold, but we keep working.
My family, they believed in me. For the first time I did the training, they know that I'm a shiro. So I have to be focused when I'm hanging. It's too risky if you are not focused.
When I'm on a rope, sometimes scary, sometimes freely.
Cutting at the aliens will help a lot because those trees absorb a lot of water. When we cut at these trees that are not wanted, there will be more water that's coming to our dams.
This is hard work, but what makes it worth it is that I'm doing something that I love. It feels great knowing that everyone has proper access to water and that I am part of making that happen.
When we talk about food and water and innovative ways to enjoy both while supporting nature, a great example is right here at Arizona Wilderness Brewing.
That's right. So let's welcome co-founder Jonathan Buford and head brewer Ashley Benson to share in the moment that they are creating for responsible practices. And also from the Nature Conservancy, Kim Schoenig is going to share how local success stories like this one can be amplified on a global scale.
Hi, yes, welcome. Thank you for joining us and thank you for having us here, Jonathan.
Oh my gosh, okay, so Jonathan, you are one of the owners here at Arizona Wilderness Brewing. So why is sustainability become so important to you?
Well, thanks for being here. You know, we built this location as a community-driven space, so this is awesome for us. Sustainability is not something that we try to derive like a profit. Like we're going to be a sustainable company, and what we realized starting this company was this state does need to have like-minded people thinking about its resources. That was from the get-go. We knew that local farms were growing, things that we could use that would come from a much lesser impact, if you will. And then as we went from there, we just realized that sustainability is the only way. There shouldn't be another way. And you should look at, I'm wearing Allbirds right now. You should look at the carbon footprint of your shoes and your shirts. And we're trying to do that with our beer. You should be able to understand what practices a company is put into making the product. So we want to be on the good side of where Earth is going, and we believe that this is the right way. So that answers the question.
Yes, absolutely. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. This next question's for Ashley. What specifically are you changing in the brewing process to impact sustainability and water usage?
So brewing as a whole is just a very water-intensive process. And how we're kind of trying to alleviate that is by using Sinagua malt as our base malt. 100% of our beers use Sinagua, which is really cool. Using Sinagua allows us to divert 50 gallons per pint of beer that we make, which is a lot when you think about 1 pint and 50 gallons.
Wow.
And so that's our commitment. It's a little bit harder on our end because we're not just buying this malt from this maltster that's been around for centuries. We're really working with that maltster to make sure that what goes into the beer is as good as possible, even though they're a fairly new maltster. It's amazing what we've been able to do with Sinagua and our partnership with the Nature Conservancy.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Gosh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Kim, the next question's for you, and come on in here. I want to make sure everybody can see you. We're all friends here. Kim, I heard that you set these gears in motion. So why was it important to you to get help from this local brewery?
Yeah, so the Nature Conservancy has been working to implement a wide range of solutions for water security in the Verde River and throughout Arizona. And so one of the things we want to think about is what's being grown on these lands, what's the best thing we can grow and benefit the farmers and keep them in production, but also put more water back in the river. So when we think about that, we need people who are going to buy those crops. So, if we're growing barley and malting barley and no one wants to buy it, then there's no business there. So the great thing about this solution is we're able to bring in farmers, we're able to protect flows in the river, and then we have this great end product that's a beer that everyone can enjoy and connect with. So that's what's so exciting. This is one part of a really big effort to protect flows in Arizona rivers.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's awesome. So Jonathan, how has this change impacted your business?
it's always impacting it,
Yeah.
which is a really positive thing. You know, you can get very dystopian and say, oh my gosh, so many bad things are happening in the world. But what we've noticed is that customers are showing up from all corners, all backgrounds. You know, it's not just the beer drinker. It's not just someone who's hungry. It's also, it's someone who wants to contribute, you know? And if you're looking to contribute to the Earth's crisis that we're in, which can start with simply global warming, if you're looking to contribute, look for companies who are stating where their products are from, as I said earlier, and you can be part of a greater cause. And that's what I think of with Earth Day is there is a fork in the road right now. You can go to dystopia. I can talk about the wildfires that are in the state right now. Or I can say, here is a way to be a better Arizonan. And we're hoping to be on that side of things where we give a blueprint, you know, as simple as putting your campfire out, actually would save soil. You know, as simple as asking, where did that company get that grain from? Where did that company get that meat from, that produce from? That question is based, I always say questions are based in curiosity, answers are based in pride, and asking more questions and staying curious I think will be the way to contribute, even if you feel like you're just at home doing nothing. You can contribute by asking those questions of where this stuff comes from. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Awesome.
So we're talking about how you can do everyday things to make everyday Earth Day. And if you happen to enjoy beer, and if you're here, I think you might, we can add choosing responsibly crafted beer to that list. So thank you so much to Arizona Wilderness team for your pioneering work. And Kim, thank you so much for turning this idea into delicious action. All right.
So to learn more about Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company and how they're leading the charge for sustainability in their industry, check out azwbeer.com.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Yeah.
So next we have for you some more inspiring and special messages from nature's friends. And Aloe Blacc is joining us again this year with a performance of his hit, Wake Me Up.
Anyone can make a day every day. I mean, anyone, by taking simple steps. For example, you can plant a tree, avoid single-use plastic, or support nature-based policies in the environment where you live.
I try to make every day an Earth Day by raising awareness of climate change and our role here on Earth. You know, we can't be healthy ourselves if the environment isn't healthy. So let's go, people.
We need to make every day Earth Day. Let's take action and stop using plastic straws and plastic utensils. Let's start composting and make an effort to keep this world clean and healthy and beautiful. Together, we can make this world a much better place.
Hello from Antarctica. Happy Earth Day. We are going to be sharing why we make Earth Day every day, and I do that by using my voice and calling on my elected officials to act on climate change and transition to renewable energy.
I make Earth Day every day by working with the Arctic Angels community around the world, collaborating with each other and supporting one another as we drive action on the polar ice crisis and to protect the Arctic sea ice.
I make every day Earth Day by planting trees. In fact, I'm working to help reforest Colorado's burn scars with native ponderosa pine trees.
I make Earth Day every day by advocating for durable and meaningful policies that advance conservation and serve local communities dependent on nature.
I make Earth Day every day by doing the little things, recycling, using less water, turning off the lights early, and every little bit counts.
When it comes to making everyday Earth Day yourself, just getting outside in nature to explore and admire the animals that inhabit our planet is a great place to start. Getting involved with any local organizations like a wildlife rehabilitation center or a local arboretum can help you get in touch with the animals and the plants that also exist in an area near you.
Happy Earth Day, everyone. Let's change the world.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream, and life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. I hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Well, life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. 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 So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost.
Y'all, that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day.
All day, all day.
Next, we'd like to share some inspiring stories about addressing air and climate. Remember, that's 2 on our list. Healthy oceans can sequester roughly half the carbon in our atmosphere, and thriving forests can help do even more.
Nature herself is a climate solution, but the key is restoring these natural wonders and keeping them healthy so that they can do this important job. So far, mankind has kind of done a lot of harm, but there is hope if we all take action together. So from things we can do every day to rallying larger change in our communities and the world to challenging corporations to be more accountable, greater effort means greater reward.
Let's take a look at one woman's inspiring perspective on restoring and protecting critical coral ecosystems.
I actually got into photography because of this really strong love of the ocean. I started telling stories about people who work in these environments that may otherwise go unseen because they're happening underwater. There's so much fascinating science out there, but so little of it ever gets communicated. We really need to put an equal amount of effort into communicating it in ways that are impactful and powerful. My name is Jenny Adler, and I am a conservation photographer. Coral reefs in the Florida Keys have been in decline for a number of years. I photographed a story for the Nature Conservancy about this incredible group of women who are helping restore reefs, and their work is actually giving us this glimmer of hope for the future of our reefs. One thing you maybe can't tell from the photos is that these women were underwater for almost the entire week. They only came up to eat, sleep, and switch scuba tanks. We had incredibly calm seas the entire time, which I've actually never had on a research expedition before. One of the first things we did on the trip was go out to Pulaski Reef, which is perhaps one of the healthiest remaining populations of staghorn coral in all of the Florida Keys. PhD students and lab technicians had never seen this species that they have been studying for a number of years in the wild. There's one picture of a healthy thicket of staghorn coral, and there are juvenile fishes kind of fanned out over the top of it, and the sun is streaming through. It sort of was this ideal moment. You could kind of see the tears almost welling up behind their masks because they had never experienced this amount of healthy staghorn coral in one location. So a foo, I learned during this trip, is called a fragment of opportunity. The women will go out to a healthy reef and pick up fragments of coral that maybe otherwise wouldn't survive, and then bring them to the surface and actually plant those in their coral nursery. What was really neat about this project was that these scientists were actually underwater with these little kind of coral gardens and coral trees that are decorated much like a Christmas tree. And they put the corals on and they hang them up, and they'll stay there for about a year. They take the coral from the nursery and outplant it at sites on the reef. These coral colonies that they're planting, if they're successful, over time will bridge the gap between the different coral colonies out there and make it so that when they spawn, it's successful.
All right, y'all, that's like dream job for me. But amazing efforts are already underway to address air and climate challenges. All right, so we're gonna hear from a few of our TNC colleagues, Mariana Pita and Ruben Benini, showing us how the Restaura project is reforesting the Amazon.
Oi, Rubens, feliz Dia da Terra.
Olá, feliz Dia da Terra a todos.
Queria começar agradecendo sua participação com a gente aqui hoje nesse evento e te pedindo para contar um pouco para todos nós sobre o seu trabalho aqui na TNC.
Eu que agradeço o convite, é um prazer estar aqui, um prazer imenso no Dia da Terra, esse dia tão especial. Eu sou engenheiro florestal, trabalho na TNC há 15 anos, atualmente liderando a estratégia de restauração florestal e de florestas para toda a TNC na América Latina, incluindo o Brasil.
Um trabalho super prazeroso e necessário, né, Rubens? Então, conta para a gente também, pensando no público que está assistindo, né, que podem ter pessoas que estão interessadas em entrar, trabalhar para a conservação do planeta. Como foi sua trajetória? Como você começou?
Olha, Mariana, isso começou há muito tempo. Quando eu era bem criança ainda, tinha mais ou menos 6 anos de idade, meus pais mudaram para Sinop, no estado do Mato Grosso, que é a fronteira da região amazônica brasileira. E ali eu assisti algumas árvores sendo cortadas, algumas árvores enormes, com 30, às vezes com 40 metros de altura, árvores imensas. E quando eu assisti aquilo, alguma coisa me tocou, fiquei um pouco chateado. Eu falei, poxa, né? O mundo era diferente naquela época. Os produtores rurais tinham incentivo do próprio governo para desmatar, para ocupar o centro-oeste brasileiro. Não tinha acontecido a Rio 92. Então o mundo era outro. Mas mesmo assim aquilo mexeu muito comigo. E logo depois eu me mudei para um outro estado na Amazônia brasileira, em Rondônia, e ali também continuei assistindo essas degradações e percebi que não estava certo. Aquilo não era a trajetória que a gente deveria fazer enquanto ser humano na Terra. E quando eu estava, né, adolescente, ali por volta dos 17 anos, meu pai me apresentou o curso de engenharia florestal, falou, poxa, você gosta de matemática, gosta de engenharia, e biologia, por que você não faz engenharia florestal? Eu fiquei maravilhado, falei, nossa, que legal, acho que é isso que eu quero. E foi isso que eu fui fazer. Comecei a trabalhar inicialmente durante a graduação, durante a universidade, com eucalipto, monocultura, mas depois eu conheci no terceiro ano de faculdade a restauração ecológica, a restauração florestal. E ali eu me encantei, falei, é isso que eu quero fazer. Isso foi em 1996, de lá para cá, né, há 26 anos é o que eu faço, conservação e restauração de florestas. Assim comecei e oriento, recomendo muito que quem tem paixão pela natureza vá em busca do seu sonho, o que acaba se tornando um mix de trabalho com prazer, né? Então, isso confunde um pouquinho, até em feriado, né? Como hoje, no Brasil hoje é feriado, a gente está aqui trabalhando com muito prazer em prol do meio ambiente das florestas.
Eu entendo o que você diz, porque eu também morei na floresta amazônica durante a minha infância, e é muito realmente gratificante você estar ali no meio daquela grandiosidade, da grandiosidade tanto da floresta quanto do rio Amazonas, né? E hoje morando um pouco mais distante, né, no Sudeste, onde eu estou agora em São Paulo, fica clara a interconexão da Amazônia com os regimes de chuva aqui do Nordeste, aí para quem está assistindo a gente em qualquer lugar do mundo, também com a regulação do clima, né? Mas voltando para o seu trabalho, Rubens, queria que você comentasse com a gente qual tem sido os focos do seu trabalho atualmente.
Bom, a gente está aqui tentando conservar e restaurar a floresta e dar escala, né? Nós estamos na década de restauração promulgada pela ONU e agora é a hora, né? A gente tem que restaurar, temos que conservar agora. Soluções baseadas na natureza, ou seja, restauração e conservação de florestas, são importantes não apenas para o ciclo hidrológico, que você bem comentou, mas para o combate às mudanças climáticas. Então, a gente tenta alavancar, dar escala nisso. Para dar escala nisso, a gente tem que atuar em alguns eixos, né, alguns pilares. Então, engajar o produtor rural. Se a gente não conseguir mobilizar, trazer os donos de terra para os nossos lados, a gente não consegue dar escala na restauração e conservação. Então, esse é um pilar. O outro é trazer dinheiro, mobilizar recursos financeiros para pagar pela restauração no chão. E o terceiro é garantir qualidade. Então, a gente atua na cadeia produtiva da restauração florestal. E o que é isso? É beneficiar, né, ajudar a formar grupos de coletas de sementes nativas, construir viveiros e ajudar as pessoas, a capacitar pessoas em fazer a execução da restauração no chão e monitorar tudo isso, que é muito importante. Então, esses são os eixos que a gente atua, e a gente tem uma campanha muito interessante aqui no Brasil, que é o Restaura Brasil, para ajudar a gente a ganhar escala. Então, a gente tem uma meta de recuperar 1 bilhão de novas árvores, trazer 1 bilhão de novas árvores nos principais biomas brasileiros. Nós estamos falando da Amazônia, da Mata Atlântica e do Cerrado aqui no Brasil. A gente já conseguiu atingir mais ou menos 25, 26% dessa meta. A gente tem 265 milhões de árvores crescendo em 10 estados brasileiros, com o apoio da TNC, com vários outros parceiros. A gente sempre atua em parceria com governos, outras ONGs, sociedade civil, setor privado, e a gente precisa da sua ajuda para que vocês possam ajudar a TNC a continuar evoluindo na conservação e restauração de florestas. Então, como é que vocês podem ajudar? Vocês podem doar para a campanha Restaura Brasil ou divulgar entre amigos e familiares essa campanha, que o link vai estar aqui no chat. Então, por favor, contribuam para que a gente possa continuar fazendo esse belo trabalho para o planeta, né? Em especial nesse Dia da Terra, que é a nossa casa, né? Nosso planeta é a única casa que nós temos. Muito obrigado.
Fantástico, Rubens. Acho que é uma ótima forma da gente terminar essa conversa, com esse chamado, né, ação, com essa informação de como as pessoas podem apoiar e tornar todos os dias o Dia da Terra. Obrigada mais uma vez.
Muito obrigado. Um grande abraço.
Wow, awesome. And now, joining us live, please welcome Jake Keill, Vice President, Fundación Grupo Punta Cana, to share some innovative work in coral reef revitalization. Welcome, Jake.
Thanks so much for having me, and happy Earth Day to everyone out there.
All right, how is your team rallying support for our oceans?
So I work for Grupo Punta Cana Foundation. I've been in the Dominican Republic for close to the last 20 years. And one of the major contributions that we're making for our oceans in the Dominican Republic is protecting coral reefs and coastal marine habitats, but utilizing the tourism industry and the private sector as a new actor in trying to come up with innovative solutions for some of the challenges we face. So we do this in a couple of ways. One, we work very directly with local communities, specifically fisher families and their families, to try and reduce the impact on the fishing communities. We try and provide new job opportunities for local fishers. We try and involve them in tourism work, and we try and involve them in our restoration efforts. So for the last 17 years, we've been undertaking coral restoration, much like you saw in the videos that Jenny did in Florida. We've been doing that in the Dominican Republic, both on underwater nurseries and also land-based nurseries, but making it a huge priority to involve the local community in restoration of these reefs.
That's incredible. So why are coral ecosystems so important, and why is now the critical time to take action?
Well, in the Dominican Republic, a huge part of our economy is the tourism industry. And that tourism industry is based on two primary features: the local community and the local culture. So that's the music of the Dominican Republic, the local culture, the food, the dance, everything that people come to see about the Dominican Republic. But another major portion of why people come to the Dominican Republic to visit is for our beaches and our natural resources. So any tourism company that's not investing in protecting those resources is ultimately going to affect the bottom line of its business. So for us, the coral reefs provide huge and important services to the resort. It protects the resort when there are storm events, provides recreational opportunities for our visitors, snorkeling and scuba diving, other marine activities, aquatic activities, and it also provides food for local communities and for the tourism economy. So the coral reef is incredibly endangered. It is a habitat that we need because it provides critical services for humans and for the tourism industry. And it's something, frankly, we want because it's this beautiful center of biodiversity. There's amazing creatures that live on the reef. And if we're not investing in protecting them, then we're really going to be causing the downfall of our own industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's all incredible. Thank you so much. And so how is the work you're doing regionally creating a movement, and how can we all do our part around the globe?
I think the tourism industry is somewhat late in coming to conservation, to coral reef restoration. It's this sort of unknown habitat for a lot of resorts around the world. And what we're trying to do is show that there are real tangible ways that the private sector could contribute to both protecting existing habitats and, when they're degraded, contributing to restoring them. So that can be either putting up financing, that can be involving the local community, that can be coming up with innovative solutions by involving partnerships with our resort. It can be utilizing our land for a place for land-based nurseries, inviting students, researchers, biologists, interns to come work with us, and encouraging other resorts and other businesses to really invest in the future of the Dominican Republic. I think by setting an example, by creating tangible experiences that can be replicated, then other resorts see that this is not just greenwashing, this isn't just something you do for publicity, this is something that's really about the future of your resort, and it's something that's very much within our power to make a change.
Wow, that is incredible. And thank you for everything that you do on nature's behalf. Let's get Victoria back up here. I'm pumped up. Are you pumped up?
I'm so pumped up. And if you are feeling inspired and you want to do more, you've got lots of options. So you can consider volunteering or becoming an advocate in your community. You can make a point of learning and sharing actions that we could all take every day. You can even choose a career that makes you one of nature's top allies, just like Jake we were just talking to, like some of the amazing speakers that we're hearing from today.
Diverse actions like all of these are critical to protecting and rebalancing nature.
Yeah.
And they're just a few of our opportunities to help. So for ideas, insights, and opportunities, visit nature.org, plan it together. It's a great place to start.
Absolutely. And before we move on to our final segment on well-being, let's hear from more of nature's friends.
I believe anyone who spends time protecting this planet knows that nothing in nature works alone. Everything is connected. To protect an ecosystem, we need to understand all the different factors at play and how they impact each other. The same is true for us, humans. Understanding diversity within us will make our entire ecosystem healthier.
I believe that diversity, no matter how we are so different from each other, we can still fight against climate change as a collective. Individuals of all ages, of all backgrounds coming together for a common cause is absolutely powerful and effective.
Necesitamos un mundo diverso, con equipos diversos, con diversas herramientas para salvar el planeta en los próximos 9 años. Vamos a ser cerca de 8 billones de personas, así que cuanta más diversidad de pensamientos, de ideas, de herramientas, mejor.
To me, Planet Together truly means together. No matter our differences, or our backgrounds, or our life experiences, all working towards the same conservation goals in these beautiful places.
To me, Planet Together means that everyone deserves access to the wonders and benefits of nature, and everyone can play a role in protecting it.
To me, Planet Together means we've all got to come together to protect the world's natural resources. I can, you can, we can.
So cool. All right, so we have one more segment, and it's a really important one, because now we're going to share ideas that improve nature's well-being, which is really our well-being, because they really are one and the same.
We need to take care of nature, but we also need to take care of ourselves and let nature help take care of us. so we can continue to be strong allies. Like I always say, you need to put on your own proverbial oxygen mask before assisting others.
That's a good one. I like that one. All right, so here is a special Earth Day message from actor, activist, and friend to nature, Rainn Wilson.
Hey everybody, at the Planet Together Earth Day event for the Nature Conservancy, it's me, Rainn Wilson, giving you a shout out from nature. I'm in nature right now. Frankly, I really don't understand this whole concept of Earth Day. We should have Earth Day be 364 days out of the year, right? And then one day we can screw up the planet. We could just dump antifreeze into a lake, chop down a tree, what have you. But only one day out of the year. The rest of the year, we honor, love, and make nature sacred. One of the things that I love that they're stressing in this year's event is the connection with nature and well-being. There's a lot of talk about happiness, about bliss, about mental health. And frankly, study after study has shown that connection to nature, love of nature, bonding with nature, meditating in nature, look at this, is one of the greatest tonics for our personal well-being, our psychological well-being, our spiritual balance and health, because we are part of nature and we need to honor our mother. So just giving you a big shout out, lots of love the work that you're doing. Happy Earth Day. Let's plan it together. So long.
Oh, Rainn Wilson. Woo! All right, well, I'd love to stand here and fangirl for a minute, but let's keep the conversation around well-being going. So we're gonna welcome our first guest, Amanda Karst from Nature United, who is joining us live from Manitoba today. Hi, Amanda, are you there?
Yes, I am.
There you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for being here. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you live and the work that you lead for Nature United?
Sure. So I'm calling to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba. So that's in Treaty 1 territory in the homeland of the Métis Nation. I'm Métis and my family roots are in Saskatchewan. So I'm the Manitoba Program Director at Nature United, and in that role I'm really privileged to work with a number of Indigenous nations in northern Manitoba.
Cool.
So although I'm leading our work in Manitoba, the work on the ground is really being led by Indigenous leaders and communities in their home territories.
Cool, that's so cool.
Much of our work in Manitoba and in Canada is supporting Indigenous-led conservation, and that's taking a bit of a different approach to historical approaches to conservation. So historical approaches to conservation have kind of taken the view of needing to protect nature from people, right? So you want to keep nature pristine, and you're doing that by keeping people away, except to visit for recreational purposes. But from an Indigenous perspective, to be conserving, you have to be in relationship to the land, and that means you need to be on the land on a regular basis, taking care of it, and that also includes sustainably and respectfully harvesting from all the gifts that are given in that place. So this historical view on conservation has sometimes been really harmful for Indigenous people because it's physically separated them from their territories and not allowed them to continue that relationship to the land and pass on their knowledge to younger generations. So that's why our approach is really focused on building respectful relationships with Indigenous communities who are connected to their places so that they continue to have that relationship with their territories.
Oh my gosh.
So being in relationship to the land includes hunting animals. And so these hunting practices are guided by Indigenous knowledge and teachings and values. And it's just all part of these vast Indigenous knowledge systems that have been adapted and developed over time. And so using the land on a regular basis is really important for the health of the land, but also really important for the health and the well-being of communities as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I think I heard you say that living in relationship to the land includes hunting animals, and that might surprise some people. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that ties into the cultural well-being that you mentioned?
Sure. So it's a reciprocal relationship, right? So people are on the land, and if they're out hunting animals, for example, they would also be showing gratitude for that life that that animal gave so that they could feed their families and feed their communities. So it's in those kinds of practices where young people are taught, where they're given a sense of identity, given a connection to place and their responsibilities to those places. It's where time spent with family and the community. It's where Indigenous languages were born and where they're passed on to younger generations. And it's really on the land where foods and medicines are harvested to nourish people's minds and spirits. And so cultural well-being is really bound up in all of this. And moose is one example of a species that's really important for cultural well-being. It's a really important animal to a number of Indigenous communities across the Boreal region, including the communities that I get to work with. So it provides, it's a really important source of wild meat, really nutritious meat, and feeds families. It's often shared within the communities when people go out hunting. It's often an important part of feasts. And it's not just the meat that's important. The hide can be tanned and smoked and used for clothing and other purposes. The bones can be used for utensils or tools for tanning hide. So there's all parts of the moose that are really important. And it really takes a lot of expertise to know how to hunt and how to process the animal. And again, that's bound up in these incredible Indigenous knowledge systems within these nations and territories.
Oh my gosh.
So moose don't really trigger any species at risk legislation, at federal or provincial levels, but actually their numbers are really in decline in a lot of regions across the Boreal. And so Indigenous communities and their land users and knowledge keepers who know the land, they're seeing those changes and they're really concerned because moose play such an important role in their cultural well-being.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. So we've talked a little bit about hunting, but can you tell us a little bit more about other ways that the communities in Manitoba are working to conserve the moose since they are so threatened? And, what is Nature United doing to support that work?
Sure. So as I said, people are concerned, they want to take action, and so there's a number of different initiatives that we've done with communities in support of their work. And so one is around bringing people together. So we co-hosted a moose workshop with Mississauga Cree Nation, who we've been working with, and so we had a number of speakers. There was elders talking about the relationship and responsibilities to moose. Another speaker talked about Indigenous laws around moose management, and there were some speakers sharing different ways communities could do moose monitoring programs. And so we used everything that came from these discussions and created guides around moose management and monitoring to guide those community discussions and decisions. And then communities are developing a number of programs to try and address those concerns and understand what's really going on with the moose population. So this includes things like developing hunter surveys so that they can learn and listen to their hunters and other land users about what they're seeing on the land. Using trail cameras to answer different questions about moose, or also going out on patrols and collecting different kinds of moose information. And it's always involving the community, all the work that they do. And then another example is Mississauga Cree Nation. They're doing lots of incredible work, but they also, part of this is a Youth on the Land program, and they have a specific week dedicated to moose, where they share moose teachings with their young people and passing that knowledge on. So the health of the land and the moose is really fundamentally tied to the health and the well-being of the people who call that place home.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing. And also thank you for that picture of the most photogenic moose I think I've ever seen. It was so nice chatting with you today. Thank you for joining us. All right.
All right. And woo.
Hey.
My turn. And now Darren Chapman, CEO of the TigerMountain Foundation, is joining us here on stage to share his unique success in supporting nature and communities.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Yeah. Hi. Welcome, Darren. So as you know, we're focusing now on interconnectedness of nature's well-being and our own well-being. So can you share with us how your organization supports well-being through nature?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm going to try to outdo that photogenic moose. That's kind of my ultimate goal in this interview.
So it's everybody's goal.
Isn't it? Yeah. Love photogenic mooses, though, man, all day. So the interconnectedness for us is on Earth Day, and happy Earth Day, everyone. Is all of y'all getting involved the way that you are getting involved with a vision, a mission for our dear Mother Earth to be something other than just a guinea pig for quite a bit of unfortunate direction, right? We know that interconnectedness really needs to start, I think, with the humans on that planet, because I think that Mother Earth might even be better off sometimes without us, unless we're going in a good direction. Unless we're taking it in a good direction. So the interconnectedness for me is all about how the people can dive into good Mother Earth, assist her, bring more greenery to her, more cooler climates, and that type of thing.
Wow, thank you so much. So how can others get involved in your organization and in their own communities?
Yeah, so the way to get involved with TigerMountain Foundation is if you're doing this in your own backyard and in your own front yard, then you're involved with TigerMountain Foundation, because the message that we want to leave for our youth, for our families and our community is something that we haven't been seeing. We want to change the narrative of what's been happening typically in our community, which is it's okay to throw trash out your window, or it's not the biggest deal in the world if I don't maintain my area for a positive effect, right? So cooler climate, that type of thing. So, yeah. So I think you guys just staying involved, the way you are coming to these types of the Nature Conservancy is amazing. When you support these types of things, man, you're doing the right direction. So we're www.tigermountainfoundation.org. We do have volunteer opportunities. However, I think you guys are the shameless plug, man. You got to get out there in your neighborhoods, right here under your feet, and do the work.
Absolutely, doing the work, yeah. So one final question for you, a quick one. Aside from visiting the Tiger Mountain website, what is one tip that you might have to help everybody make every day Earth Day?
How do we make every day Earth Day? That's one of those, you got to kind of Shangri-La moments for Darren Chapman. To make every day Earth Day, starting with me, I got to be more conscientious. The word I'm going to put out there is conscientious. We're seeing some moments in our world where folks aren't being very considerate of that person or that land for sure, right? But again, we just can't tackle the land unless we personally are being more conscientious towards one another, how we're going to actually truly be one another's brother. And like I said, it does sound a little Shangri-La. However, keep doing something just the exact opposite, and then we got to view the destruction of our good Mother Earth. And on Earth Day, I want to keep seeing us be more conscientious of one another, and then we'll build better together. We'll build our Mother Earth better together.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, well thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Darren. Big round of applause. Take it with you. Yeah.
Our gift to you. All right, guys, and now I am thrilled to welcome artist, activist, and friend to the Nature Conservancy, Richard Williams, or as many of you know him, Prince EA. Hey! Wow, come on in here. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So we're thrilled to have you here to debut your newest piece of work, Dear Parents. Yep. Can you tell us a little bit more about what motivated you to create it?
Yeah, so first, thank you for having me here at the Nature Conservancy. Listen, for this piece, Dear Parents, A lot of people don't know I got my degree in anthropology, so I'm a student of science, a student of reality, a student of the human experience.
Yeah.
And so when you look at animals in nature, and you look at animals in captivity, they all share this single instinct. And that instinct is to protect their offspring from external threats.
Yeah.
Sometimes protecting them with their very lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're talking about a polar bear, a pelican, a penguin, or a peacock. They all have this instinct.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, what about the human family? Have we lost our instinct to protect our offspring from the greatest external threat that we're gonna face in our lifetimes, which is climate change?
Yeah.
And so that's why that got me thinking that climate change isn't a political issue as much as it is a parental issue.
Yeah.
And so this piece, I speak from the perspective of the younger generation, and I ask the question, the most important question, dear parents, do you love your kids?
Wow, that's really amazing. So your work has taken you all around the globe, including a visit to our Blowing Rocks Preserve in Florida. How have those experiences shaped your creative vision?
Yeah, well, travel has shaped my creative vision more than any other factor.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Twain said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And so when I travel, I am just enthralled with a degree of open-mindedness that I hadn't had before, and a mind stretched to a new dimension never returns to the old one, right? So when I travel to these different locations, it gives me a creativity. It gives me information. It feeds me data that I then take, mold, shape, and eventually convey it in my own message. And the foundational message of everything I do is we are one family, and we are more similar than we are different.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. So cool. So today is about inspiring people and letting them know that we can and that many people are creating real change here on our planet. So without giving too much away, what is one message you want viewers to take away from this piece?
I'd say the single most important message to take away from this piece, and I mentioned it in the video that you're about to see, is not just to recycle, but also to remember. To reconnect to nature. I always say we are not a part of nature, we are nature.
Yeah.
And so that's really my message. And also that the doom and gloom narrative that we see, it just doesn't work.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if anybody plays sports here or is an athlete, but I always say there's a difference between an athlete that's playing to win and an athlete that's playing to not lose.
Yeah.
The athlete playing to win is going to win because they're focused on winning, and what you focus on grows.
Yeah.
So the more we focus on the doom and gloom, we get more of that. But if we focus on the love, on the beauty of nature, we will inevitably get more of that.
Yeah.
And so that's my fundamental message, and this is the piece, Dear Parents. It was an amazing, amazing piece. It took us 8 days. We traveled to 4 continents. I'm still jet lagged. You'll see in the video I have the same outfit on because it was just in my suitcase. But yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Your work and dedication to protecting our planet is really, really inspiring.
Really is.
Thank you.
It's so important to build that bond. I think to forge that bond with nature, as every other speaker on this stage said, because we don't fight to save that which we don't love. And I think once we develop that bond, then we come to organizations like this one and then take that action.
Yeah.
And that action happens spontaneously, where you connect, you collaborate, and then you make the impact in your own communities.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So inspiring. All right. Wow, I don't think we have to wait any longer. So without further ado, would you take it away?
This is it. This is the piece. Dear Parents, just released today. Enjoy.
Dear parents, do you love your children? No offense, I'm not questioning you. I'm just questioning you. Do you love your children? I know it sounds rude to ask. I mean, all parents would say they would give their child the world, and I believe them. But parents, do you ever think about the state of that world that you're gonna leave them? Look, you work hard to provide for your family. A parent's job is never finished. I commend it. You want generational wealth, and that's terrific. But tell me, what is the point of generational wealth if the future generations don't even have a world to spend it? I know what you're thinking. Kids these days, what do they know? You may say we're young, we were born yesterday, and okay, you would be right. We were born yesterday, but we stayed up all night, and we figured something out. Would you like to hear it? Humanity will never solve climate change with its science. It'll solve it with its spirit. Not by rebalancing economies, but rebalancing philosophies, because don't we treat the earth how we see the earth? Mom, Dad, I know you watch a lot of news, and despite what Fox and CNN says, climate change, it ain't political. It's parental, plain and simple. And that's why I'm not here advocating the Paris Agreement. We're here advocating the parents agreeing. Because it comes down to one question and one question only. Do you love your kids? If you do, prove it. Show it then. When you ask what we want to be when we grow up, please leave us an actual world to grow up in. Let me calm down. Parents, I'm not here to shame you today or have a hateful debate on climate change and rage about civilization making mistakes. Show you pictures of polar bears, wildfires, and tell you how animal agriculture insanely raises the stakes. I mean, yeah, that's facts. Don't get me wrong. But the scare tactics, I'm not a fan at all. You already know the only Milky Way these kids will see will be the candy bar. You already know when they turn 30 years old, there will be more plastic in the ocean and fish. You already know this. Like I said, you hear it on the news. And that's where the freaking news goes wrong. Because if you simply focus on what's going wrong, you get more of what's going wrong. That's universal law. Please stop inciting fear. Let me make this quite clear. Martin Luther King's speech, "I have a dream," would not have been the same if it was called, "I have a nightmare." Because he knew the doomsdaying and naysaying is straight lame. It is through inspiration and hope that we make change. So all you environmental activists who take aim, shame, and place blame, I feel your pain, because I was the same. Foolish. But you must see the irony of having heated debates over global warming. Bro, cool it. Because the solution is teamwork, and what good is driving an environmentally friendly vehicle if you're a mean person? One thing's certain, love is what we need urgent. But I get it. Technology has blinded us, clouded our common sense to the point where if I say we are not separate from nature, many start doubting it. But think about it. When we were born, we did not come into the world. We came out of it. We are nature. So parents, my call to action is not to recycle, but to remember. Remember when you step outside, nature is alive. Remember the wind is her voice, the rocks are her bones. Remember when you breathe, every inhale is mirrored by an exhale of a tree. Remember the water you drink comes from the streams and the sea. Remember hereforth that love is the greatest renewable resource. It is so resilient. And perhaps most of all, remember us. We are 2.2 billion. And we chose you to protect our futures, not steal them. Because remember, you did not inherit this earth from your ancestors. You're borrowing it from your children.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Now before you go, I want to tell you one thing. Now, while the media today wants you to be afraid, I want you to not look at the world as a crisis that needs saving, but as a friend that needs remembering, as a love that needs honoring. You know, Martin Luther King once said that those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war. So this Earth Day and every day, I want you to join me in organizing with the Nature Conservancy and their mission to heal this planet. I want you to go to nature.org and find a local chapter in your area and get involved today. You know, Margaret Mead once said, never underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change this world. For that is all that ever has. Peace.
Wow, that was incredible. Let me catch myself. All right, so before we wrap up, let's hear from the Nature Conservancy's Arizona State Director, Dan Steller. Come on up, Dan.
Hello. Prince EA, man, you are a hard act to follow. Thanks for that beautiful message and reminder that it's going to take all of us working together, using science and the human spirit to create the future that we want. Before we go, I want to extend my gratitude to all who joined us today to celebrate Earth Day. And we really want to thank our hosts here in Phoenix, Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company. Yeah. Thanks so much for having us. Yes. We want to thank all our speakers today, both here and across the globe, for joining. And of course, again, to thank Prince EA for that really moving message.
Yeah. Yes.
It's been so heartening to me to see the variety of work going on and all the actions that are taking place to create the world that we want. I hope everyone can take away just a little of that inspiration and make it part of your daily life. And I hope that today serves as a reminder that you can take action for nature throughout the year. Let's make 2022 the year that we plan it together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, cheers to that, Dan, and thank you so much for your leadership here in Arizona. Oh my gosh. Okay, Courtney. Whew, it's been a day. Let's recap. Securing food and water, making strides for air and climate, and some important ways nature's well-being is our well-being, and actions we can take every day to keep it all in balance.
And Prince EA is amazing.
And Prince EA is amazing. Oh my gosh, we have covered so much today.
I know. The more we discuss, there's more to discover. It's incredible. So if you're like us and you want to learn more, check out nature.org/planet. Together.
There we go. And we encourage you to keep the party going, spreading ideas for action throughout your own community. My gosh.
You can also follow the Nature Conservancy on your favorite social media apps, so you can make any day, every day, Earth Day.
Thanks everybody for celebrating with us. Thanks guys.